comfortable, tall seats. Lengthen and lift up through the crown of the head. Roll your shoulders down your back. Maybe let your eyelids close, or not actually, and what I think would be probably best for each of us today, because we've been in kind of a stressful and one could even say a little bit of a traumatic time period here where there's just a lot shifting. And so one really helpful nervous system practice is this practice and process called orientation. And it's a little opposite from what we do a lot of times in yoga, which is like shut your eyes, feel internal. And that's usually really easily accessible when we're in a state of relaxation and calm. Yeah, that's a little harder to access when things are in flux as they are with our current world situation. And so let's have the eyes open, at least for this first couple moments of class. And just let your eyes scan around your room. And I want you to just look for objects in your room that feel pleasurable or good or easy on the eyes, like a plant or a painting. And then find one object that your eyes are drawn to and just look at it like you've never really seen it before. And look at all the colors and textures, the shapes, light, shadow. Notice every single detail as if you were gonna go off into another room and have to paint it. And then find one more object like that. Again, we're just doing this orientation practice. It's just giving your brain information that you are in fact safe and well here in this moment. Kind of rewiring the brain from this scarcity, survival mindset into one of more calm, peace, abundance. And you might notice me myself, I'm kind of naturally beginning to shift my weight from side to side. This is a natural self-soothing technique, and so maybe your body finds some natural movement side to side, forward, back, in circles. We'll be doing a lot of this nervous system work here today as we practice our yoga, and really the intention behind it is just to help process some of these big shifts going on in the world. Once you do feel more oriented, then maybe your eyes want to close and you can orient to your inner landscape and just notice what's alive in my breath and my breathing. Like, where do you feel your breath? Is it up in your chest, down in your belly? Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't been breathing all day. I've just been holding my breath. You might notice what's going on in your physical body, tension, areas of pain or discomfort, areas of ease, warmth, coolness. We're just taking a moment here to really become present with whatever it is that's alive, whatever it is that's present. And then bring yourself exactly through center if you've been shifting your weight, and call in your ujjayi breath, deep breaths in and out the nose, a little constriction in the throat muscles. Maybe just the gentle beginning of a smile on your face. And even if you're not in a place where you feel like smiling, it's physiologically giving your body information, sending you signals to secrete more hormones and neurotransmitters that have to do with joy and peace. Stay with your ujjayi breath, and we'll move right forward onto hands and knees and tabletop. Now, if you do have a blanket, you can use your blanket for underneath your knees. It's helpful for those of you with a thinner mat or a harder floor at home. We'll just come right onto hands and knees. The hands will plant right beneath your shoulders, knees right beneath your hips. Stay with your deep breath, and with your inhale, let the belly drop toward the floor, lift the tailbone, lift the chin. As you exhale, curl and tuck everything under, rounding for cat. Inhale for cow, and exhale for cat. Now you can do this practice, and we'll just keep moving through it with the breath in two different ways. Again, we can do more external orientation where you're just looking around as you do this practice, noticing sights, colors, light, shadow as you move the body. Or you can do more internal orientation with the eyes closed, feeling the breath, feeling the body, feeling in. And really, what our nervous system naturally often does is kind of fluctuate between these two modes of operation. And so you might take a few rounds looking at the texture of the wall or the floor of your yoga mat, and then a couple rounds feeling, sensing into the body, closing the eyes. We'll just be here a little longer. And yes, you can absolutely make this your own circle, spiral, side to side. Move in whatever way feels super good for you. You might let out a sigh, a moan, a groan. We'll come right up and back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees and the hips. Press down through all 5 fingers. Let the tip of your pinky touch the outer edge of your mat. Broaden the hands. Lengthen the upper arm bones away from the ears. Walk your feet to hip distance apart and just pedal out the legs, bending one knee and then the other. You might take your eyes toward your feet if you're wearing socks. And look at your socks, maybe your yoga pants, and just notice something that you've never noticed about your socks, your yoga pants, or even your feet. Just really using this orientation visual practice to connect to present moment mindful awareness, connect to a sense of I am safe, I am well. And then let both your legs neutralize, a soft bend in both knees as the heels melt toward the ground. Give your head a nod, yes, and a shake, no. With your inhale, come onto your tippy toes. Begin to straighten the knees. They don't have to come completely straight. Tuck the chin to your chest. Round the spine like you're coming through cat pose. Come all the way into plank. Here in plank, we'll just be warming up the core. So stay on the very tips of your toes here and draw right knee toward the chest. Exhale. Inhale, lift it up and back. Exhale, lower the foot down. Inhale, lift the left heel. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift up and back. Exhale, lower down. 2 more on each side. You can do this with the opposite knee lowered. With the breath. Inhale, stretch the leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to stretch. Exhale to lower. One last round. As you move here, as things get a little bit more heated, you might just notice and sense into where your mind's awareness has gone. After your last cycle, come right back up, downward facing dog. Walk your feet to your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Now here, we'll bring the feet to right about hip distance apart. Relax and let the entire spine hang over the hips. The arms reach down toward the floor. Sometimes in this posture, I find that we want to crane the neck and look forward. You might be looking at your computer to see me. But what we really want is the head to just completely and fully release down. With your inhale, lift halfway. With your exhale, come right back into that fold. And we'll just move like that with the breath. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. And if you've been feeling a lot of pent-up stress, anxiety, worry, let your exhale be audible and out the mouth. Even be more of a moan, a groan. Or you could even do a yell or a scream depending on where you are and how much you have built up in your system. One more time. Just relax all the way into your full. Grab opposite elbows, shift your weight,
all the way to your left foot, and then all the way to your right foot. Just back and forth between left foot and right foot. And stay with that. I'm just gonna come over and check that everybody's microphones are on mute. All right. And then come right back through center. Release your arms, bend your knees, slowly uncurl the spine up to standing mountain, Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms meet in front of the heart. Slight tuck of your chin, a bow of the logical thinking mind to the heart, the feeling mind. Close the eyes, feel into your belly, your heart, your brain. Open your eyes. One more moment of orientation. Find something in front of you just to set the gaze on, something that looks pleasurable or neutral, and notice every single detail about it, like you're an alien landing on Earth for the first time and have never seen anything quite like it. With your next inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, audibly or out the nose. Step back, down dog. Inhale, tippy toes, round the spine, come on forward to plank. Broaden your shoulder blades, stay up on the very tips of your toes. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose, step all the way through to your lunge. Now here's where you get to use your blocks, or if you don't have blocks, just hands right on the floor, or find your makeshift blocks. We'll start with the back knee lowered down onto the ground, and let the hips, the pelvic bowl, melt forward and down toward the floor. You can leave your hands on blocks on the ground, or sweep them up overhead. That's going to take the stretch a little bit deeper into the front of your left hip flexor. On your exhale, hands in front of the heart. Now here you have two options depending on how you're feeling today. You can bring your hands to the mat first if you'd like, or to blocks, or leave the hands in front of the heart, tuck the back toes, lift the back leg up. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend the back knee, lower it down just to graze the earth, not really sinking the weight, right? We're not lowering all the way down. We have a little bit of a lift here. Inhale up and away. Exhale to sink down. Inhale up and away. Exhale to sink down. If this bothers either of your knees, bring your hands to the ground just to help lift some of the weight away from the legs here. One more time. Find your high lunge. Reach both arms up overhead. We'll find Kali Mudra. Interlace all the fingers. Pointer fingers point up toward the sky. Broaden the collarbones. Lift the chin. Nice deep bend into your front knee. As you exhale, lower the hands down. Point your finger faces toward your throat. Shift your weight forward to airplane your warrior, which just means torso goes from directly upright to 45-degree angle. One more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, release the hands all the way down to your mat. Step back, three-legged dog. Exhale, lower the leg down. Balls of the feet, inhale, roll forward, plank. Lift the left leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to reach. Exhale, three-legged dog. Knee to nose, step all the way through for your lunge. You're on the second side. Just as we did on the first side, we'll start with the knee down on the ground. Hands on the floor, on your blocks, or up overhead. Pause to breathe here a few moments. Exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Now you choose again. You can leave your hands where they are. They can float to the floor or blocks. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, inhale. Exhale, lower the knee toward the earth. Just tap it down. Inhale to lift away. We're staying with the Ujjayi breath here as we move. One more time. With your inhale, crescent lunge. Lift the back heel away from the ground. Front knee right above your ankle. Engage the inner thighs up and in. Maybe the arms reach up overhead. Maybe Kali Mudra. On your next exhale, point your finger points toward the throat. Bring the upper body to 45 degrees. Engage the navel in toward you. Press down through the front heel. Pause. One more breath in. Exhale. Three-legged dog. Inhale, stretch the leg up and back a little higher. And exhale, float the foot down. Pedal your legs out, bend one knee and then the other. And with your next inhale, plank pose. Tippy toes, lower the knees. Find a Chaturanga Dandasana. Squeeze your shoulder blades down the back, elbows in toward the ribs. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Walk your arms out so that the fingertips come up nice and wide, elbows are high. Chin or forehead right down onto your mat. So the chin or forehead down on your mat. Inhale, peel the chest to look up. Exhale, lower down. Rolling cobras. Keep pressing through the pinky toe side of your foot. We'll be here a little longer, and again, you get to choose internal orientation to sensation and breath, or external orientation, just looking around, noticing, what do I see here? And more specifically, what do I see here that I like, that brings me a sense of ease and safety and pleasure? One more round. And then exhale, lower all the way down, crocodile pose. Make a pillow with your hands for underneath your cheek, chin, or forehead. Pause, take a couple deep breaths. Give your hips a little shimmy, a sway from left to right. From here, keep your left leg out long. Bend your right knee up and out to the side like you would in tree pose. The sole of the right foot comes to the left inner calf. So it's kind of like a face down tree here on your belly. I'll just say that again because sometimes this is a confusing one. So we'll bend the knee, but rather than bending it so the foot comes up in the air, we bend it out to the side so that the foot can line up with the calf. Just like tree pose. You can leave your hands as they are, or maybe reach them down and back behind you, your choice. From here, we'll come into this variation of locust pose that really targets the energy into simply one side of the back. And so you just lift everything up off the ground, chest, arms, forehead, legs, except for your right thigh and your hips. Everything else is lifting. You'll probably feel a little extra contraction on the right low back, the QL muscle there. So really feel and sense into that. One more breath in. Exhale. Lower down, release the legs, give your hips a shimmy, find crocodile pose. Pillow with the hands underneath the forehead or the chin. Take a few deep breaths in crocodile. And we'll do that same posture on the second side. So the left knee will bend out to the side, sole the foot to the inner calf. You can reach your hands behind you or keep them right where they are. Everything lifts up except for your left thigh, your hips. We'll pause and hold here. So here we're not only contracting this side on the left low back, we're also working with the kidney meridian, which is a meridian really associated with catalyzing our fear into courage. And so you may or may not feel that process happening within your own heart, within your own belly here in this moment. One more breath in. Exhale, lower down, press the hands and knees into the ground, tuck the toes, down dog. Deep breath in, your downward facing dog. Let it out. Slowly walk feet to hands, or if you're feeling powerful and frisky today, you can take one full jump, forward fold. Opposite, hands to elbows, sway side to side, just a few moments here. Let the weight of the body be heavy, let the spine waterfall toward the floor. Weight through center, nice deep bend in the knees, release the arms. Inhale, rise up, standing mountain, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms in front of the heart. Close the eyes, feel the breath. We'll be building on the lunge sequence we started from earlier. My challenge and invitation for you is to see how oriented you can stay through the entire process, through the entire flow that we'll move through. And so that means two different things, and you can oscillate between the both of them. Orientation to your external environment, that includes all of the senses, right? So what do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Etc. And second piece, orientation to the inner world, your breath, your body sensation, etc. With your inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog all the way to plank. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach the leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, step forward and through lunge. Engage your thighs in toward one another, lift the back heel away from the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, Kali Mudra in front of the throat. Airplane the torso, 45 degrees forward. Back foot becomes really light, almost like there's no weight on the back leg at all. And you could even find a couple of these lifts of the heel toward the glute there on the back leg. One more breath in. And then shift your weight all the way forward. Reach the arms forward for warrior three. Here's another chance. You can use your blocks if you have them and want to use them. One more deep breath in. Exhale, bend the front knee, lower the foot back down. Reach back up, crescent. Exhale, palms in front of the heart. We'll find a twisting crescent toward your front leg. So you can do elbow hooking on the outside of the thigh, or hands to the opposite thighs for a more upright position. Take your vision behind you. Notice where that process of orientation is. Where is your awareness? With your inhale, both arms reach up. With your exhale, step back, three-legged dog. Inhale, reach the leg a little higher. Exhale, knee to nose. Stay in plank. Inhale, reach the leg back behind you. Exhale, lower the foot down. Take one breath in, plank, hold. Lower the knees, lower all the way down onto your mat. Inhale for a locust, reach, lift everything up off the mat. Exhale, press the hands beneath the shoulders, come back into a child's pose. And let your forehead rest down on a block, your hands, or your yoga mat. Pause here to breathe. Stay with sensation, with orientation, with your breath, with your body. One more breath in. Let it out. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward. Step or find a light hop to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, palms in front of the heart. Second side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up high, all the way through to a three-legged plank. Exhaling, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step on through. Find your lunge. Hands on blocks or the ground. Lift your back heel away from the earth. With your next inhale, take the arms up overhead, Kali Mudra. On your next exhale, point your finger points to the throat. Shift the weight forward. Lots of weight on the front leg. Back leg grows really light. And you can find these little heel kicks if you'd like. So just really feeling the weight pour into the front leg. One more breath. And then shift the weight all the way forward. Reach the arms forward. Find your warrior three. Stay with your breath. Stay with orientation. Pause and hold here. One more deep breath in and out. Then a standing leg. Lower the back leg down. Reach the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause here. We take a twist toward the front thigh. You can hook the elbow or stay upright. Look all the way behind you, even into the very corners of your eyes. Pause and breathe. Eyes open to orient or closed to feel inner sensation. With your next inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, lift the leg a little higher. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift it back, three-legged plank. Exhale, plank. Hold your plank for one breath in. Exhale, lower all the way down onto the mat. Inhale, your choice of locust. So we lift everything up off the ground. Or bow for a deeper back bend, bending the knees. Hands to your feet or ankles. And lifting back up. The feet press into the hands. Your choice. One more breath in here. Exhale, release. Press back to child's pose. We pause. In child's, recalibrate. Find your breath. Tune into your body. Take one more deep breath in and let it out. With your inhale, plank or table. Exhale, down dog. Tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward. Step or hop to your hands, forward fold. Pause, chill out, Uttanasana, opposite elbow, sway from side to side. Come back through center, release the arms. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms in front of the heart. Tune into your breath. And then from here, we'll take a step to face the long edge of the mat. If you have a blanket down on your mat, you might want to just move that off to the side. Nice wide stance here. Heels in, toes out. Hands to your hips, some hip circles. And just circling the hips while you breathe. While you orient. Take the hip circles the opposite way. Good. And then let your hips have somewhat of a lift in your tailbone, right? So we're not tucking the tailbone under. I'll show you a side view of what this looks like. So the lift in the tailbone is just a little bit more of a low back curve versus a tuck is like flattening the low back, squeezing the butt cheeks. So we'll have a little bit of a lift, not super exaggerated, but just notice how when you lift your tailbone, you also lift your heart and naturally stack your ears right above your shoulders. Shift your weight into your heels, bend your knees and sink down into goddess, and we'll just go down as deep as you can with maintaining that lift of your tailbone. So here's what happens a lot of the times when we enter our squats. If we have tight hips, tight hamstrings, we squat with a tucked tailbone, right? And then everything else collapses forward. So your goddess pose might be like pretty high up with a lifted tailbone, or if you have a lot of flexibility, it might be a little bit lower. So just find where you're able to hang out in with that tailbone position. Shoulders right above the ears, hands on your hips. I want you to feel and sense into your big, glorious, juicy hip bones underneath your hands. These bones associated with this root area of the body and the root chakra. And you can find a little shift of your hips pouring from the left to the right, and let that move the rest of your torso and your chest. So we're going to hang out here in goddess pose because goddess, as well as all squats and all leg postures, build energy in our root chakra. And our root chakra is our energetic center of survival, energetic center of feeling stable and grounded and secure. And so simply by doing these practices where we're bringing quite a lot of energy into the legs, we allow energy to also go into our root. Let's just stay here for one more breath in. Exhale. And inhale, straighten the legs out. Come back to those hip circles. Just letting everything in the legs circulate down toward the feet. You might find a sigh breath. Let's take those circles opposite direction. And then bring your hips right through center. Turn your toes in and your heels out. Slightly pigeon-toed. If not pigeon-toed, then just have your feet parallel. Again, we find a lift in the tailbone, right? So we're going to come into a forward fold next, and I'll show you again. This is the action we want, is a lift of the tailbone. That's going to naturally bring the torso into fold. If we fold with a tucked tailbone, what happens is really our fold is just this rounding of the spine, right? And so what I actually prefer for you all today is having a bend in your knees, a lift in your tailbone, and fold from that position. Some of you have heard me say this before, but this cue of tucking your tailbone to me is like completely bogus, because that's exactly what we do when we're frightened and we're scared. Like, just think of your dog or your cat that are practicing with you. And when they're not feeling well, the first thing that happens is they tuck the tailbone under. And so just bring awareness to like how your body is positioning itself in simple postures like fold can be really, really helpful in managing some of this stress, some of these fight or flight states. Your hands can stay on your hips as you fold if that feels good, to just feel and remember that you do have hip bones, that these bones do exist.
Or you can release the hands and feel the ground and remember that there is a ground beneath your feet, that there is an earth holding you. If you haven't already, come back to that practice, that process of orientation. And maybe here, instead of to visuals, you can orient to sounds in your space, noticing what sounds are around you. Sounds of the building that you're in, my voice. Maybe there's gentle music you're playing in the background for your practice, and you can just bend left knee and right knee, a little pulse here side to side. But rather than having this pulse come from this place of being really vigorous and hard on ourselves and like more to do, let it just occur from a place of what's it like to move? What does it feel like to move? Exploration, curiosity. You might take a little extra bend into your left knee, turn the toes out, and find your half squat here. Stretching the opposite leg out long. Your hip can melt down toward the floor. It's not super comfortable for everybody, so you can stay a little bit higher up and away, hands in front of the heart. Or maybe a side body opening, left hand to the inner leg, opposite arm reaches up, feels so good. If you'd like to find a mudra here, a really great one is a Panavayu mudra, tip of the finger or tip of the thumb to the two middle fingers, grounding earth energy mudra. One more breath here. On your exhale, lower your hand down, both hands to the floor. Walk yourself over to the second side. You might notice the side feels quite different than the first. I know for me, I have a lot less ankle and hip mobility on this side than on the first side. So you might just notice what's different here. And as you sink in, choose the variation that this side wants. It might be the right hand or the right arm to the inner thigh. Opposite arm lifts and reaches up. And again, just gonna come over and make sure all the microphones are on mute. Great. Stay with your breath here. How can you enjoy this? Exhale, hands through center, and walk yourself right back to your forward fold in center. Release the entire spine, let your head be super heavy. Give your head a nod yes, a shake no. Toes turn parallel to one another. Bend the knees. 1 second. You all hear me still? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. The microphone, I think, just turned off for a second. Okay, so bend the knees and bring your hands to your inner ankles. The elbows will match up somewhere along the inner knees here, and you'll press the elbows to the inner knees, lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And this is kind of like your mama spider laying eggs. So we'll inhale, lift the hips away from the ground, and exhale, let the hips sink toward the ground. As much as you can with this. Can you keep your tailbone lifted rather than curling toward the floor? And again, just a reminder here, you get to oscillate your awareness to the external world, noticing sights, sounds, sense, whatever sense stimulations are online for you, to the internal world, sensation, breath. And then with your next inhale, come right back up into your goddess, hands on your hips. One last visit here. So if you need to, straighten the legs, give it a shake out first. And we're gonna hang out in goddess again, just as we did earlier, feeling your big, glorious hip bones, and maybe adding those hip circles in here as you hold your goddess. You might be able to hear my ujjayi breath. I've still got it going strong, and just notice what's going on with your breath. Take those circles the opposite way. Press down through your heels.
Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale out the mouth. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold on forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, downward facing dog. So we've been doing this really fun three-legged dog, three-legged plank exploration throughout class. We'll do it one more time, adding on a pigeon pose here. So if pigeon is not in your practice, you can find a figure four from your seat or on your back. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. With your inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, stay in plank. Lift the leg up and back. Exhale, slide the shin forward, pigeon. Now here's a great opportunity to use your blanket underneath the front hip. That just helps if there's any distance between your hip and the earth, which for like 99% of humans there is. And from here, if you have a block pull, you can use that for underneath your chest as you lean forward, or just let yourself prop down onto your forearms. We'll find a sleeping pigeon and hang out in sleeping pigeon for a good chunk of time. Figure four, for those of you wishing to take it, will be the right leg crossed over the left side of the seats or down on your back. Wherever you choose to land, first give yourself a moment to notice your breath. Let your breath be deep for 3 to 5 cycles of breath. And then after those cycles, and you'll just meter this yourself, let your breath completely soften. No effort to the breath. And with that, soften the entire body. The entire body soften, heavy, sinking toward the ground, releasing, surrendering. Places and spaces to especially be aware of here in pigeon: jaw, temple, shoulders, hips, ankles, soles of the feet. All soft. We'll be here for about 90 seconds on each side. I'll let you know when we transition. Last few moments here, see if you can let your body be even heavier. The heaviest it's been all week. Like, just let yourself surrender, release effort, be held. Let yourself be held by the earth. And this weight that is gravity holding you will just gently begin to rise and lift up away from that. And there might even be a heavy quality to how you lift away from the ground now that you've really tuned into this sense of gravity and feeling and sensing gravity. We'll tuck the left toes under if you're in pigeon and lift right back up, three-legged dog, bend the knee, open the hips. You can do this from your down dog. If you're looking for something more restful, you can do it from a forearm tabletop as well. Eventually, we'll lower right back into our down dog and do that final core sequence into pigeon on the second side. Inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Stay in plank. Inhale, lift up and back. And exhale, glide right on into pigeon second side. Figure four if that's your preference. Grab your blanket or cushion. First, nugging underneath the front hip. You can stay up right, or use your block for underneath your chest, or surrender all the way forward and down onto forearms, or all the way down onto your belly. 90 seconds here. Start with those deep intentional breaths. 3 to 5 cycles, and then everything completely softens, completely lets go, and you surrender even a little bit more than you did on the first side here. What's it like to allow yourself to be completely held by Mother Earth? Completely held. Especially heavy in the temple and brain, the jaw, the tongue, shoulders, belly, hips, ankles, soles of the feet, melting, softening, heavy, heavy, heavy. Feel gravity and gradually begin to lift your body up and away from the pull of gravity. Tuck the back toes under, three-legged dog. Open the hips to the long edge of your mat. Take a sigh, a yawn, a moan, a groan. Really important that we have this outlet for sound. And then you can do this from knee and forearms too. Eventually, we'll meet in a child's pose, whatever variation for child's your body wants to take you to. It could be embryo, it could be child's with the knees out wide for a little inner groin stretch. You choose. Again, we're just staying with this feeling of heaviness held by the earth. There's nothing that can balance the root chakra more than connection to the earth, feeling the earth, and the fact that there are miles and miles of earth right beneath your body, right here and now, whether you're on the first floor or the 50th floor of a building, just tuning into the fact that this earth beneath you that is indeed holding you stretches down, 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 miles, 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 miles below your body, magnetically holding you to it. Maybe you can sense into and feel all the way into the molten lava core of our planet. And with this awareness and sense of our Mother Earth, of gravity holding you to her, we'll find our way onto our back body. One final stretch, which will be a happy baby pose. So I'll demonstrate here and you can find it along with me. Bending both knees, hands take the back of the hamstrings, the shins, or all the way up to the outer or inner edges of the feet. And here we just feel the length of the spine resting down on the ground. There's something really magical that happens when we literally allow our body to be belly to belly with the earth. It helps to ground, it helps to center and release the buildup of stress from technology and modern living. And so you might feel this magnetic pull from the earth, pulling out from your body anything that is no longer necessary. Any stress, pain, tension, worry, fear, guilt, overwhelm. Let it be drawn out of you. The earth can hold it, the earth can compost it into something new. One more moment here, and from your next exhale, stretch out into Shavasana. If you have a cushion for beneath your knees, lovely. If not, then you can just let the legs rest out long, palms face up by your sides, squeeze the shoulder blades underneath you, a little tuck of the chin. And just as we've been doing, the body is completely heavy. Heaviness in the feet and ankles, the shins, knees and thighs, the hips and the organs inside the pelvis, low belly and low back, upper back, chest, shoulders, collarbones, upper arms, elbows, lower arms and wrists, hands and fingers, throat and neck, jaw, tongue, cheeks, ears, eyes, forehead, entire skull, the brain within your skull. Whole body, soft and heavy, weighted, sinking toward the floor. Inside your mind's eye, visualize your soft, heavy body floating in warm, salt water. So much salt in it that you just naturally float, weightless. Let this water be any color that would feel nourishing and good for you, maybe a blue or a bright teal. Fragrant flowers floating in the water alongside you. Hibiscus, roses, sunflowers. Soaking in this pool of warm, motherly, earthy energy. A space for you to absorb nutrients. Absorb love. And see yourself in this space, the soft smile on your face, feeling peaceful, grounded, warm. From this space, you might consider one thing that you're ready to breathe in and take forward with you. One feeling, one sensation, maybe nourishment, maybe ease, maybe slowing down. Whatever word comes to your mind and heart is the best one to go with, and just take a few cycles of breath to really drink that in. Let it fill your every cell. And perhaps it comes with a visual of golden light entering the body, purifying, uplifting.
More of this healing water cleansing through, releasing any unnecessary tension, pain, stress. And just take one more breath, really drink that in, really feel it. And just softly open your eyes, take a look up at your ceiling, and just as we started class out with, let your eyes orient. Let your eyes orient to the space that you're in. Just let them drift around and look for things that are pleasant or new or curious to you. Might be a painting or a plant or a pattern on the wall, blanket. Really let yourself see it as if it's the first time you've ever seen anything like it, as if in a moment you were gonna have to go paint it in a different room. Looking at all the details, light, shadow, texture, color. And we'll just add on one other layer of this orientation practice, which these are practices I highly recommend that you do throughout the day if you have been feeling overwhelmed. And so that's to close your eyes and visualize that item internally, just recalling all the details of it in your own mind. And once you've done that, you can give your fingers and toes a wiggle, circle ankles and wrists, moving the body back to waking life. Maybe reach the arms up for a full body stretch. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana or meditation as long as you want to. Those of you who are ready to keep moving with your day, you can press up into a seated posture and fold the hands in front of the heart. So this process, this practice of grounding and orientation might feel ridiculously simple sometimes. It's really, really powerful in moments and times and spaces when we feel overwhelmed and stressed. All we're doing is giving our nervous system information so that it has a more full picture of what's going on and can provide you with more ease and rest and powerful moments of relaxation. I hope you found this beneficial. I really encourage you to do it multiple times throughout your day. And I hope to see you again soon, maybe in Restore, which starts in just about 30 minutes. All right. Best wishes, all my love. We bow in honor of the light, the power, the grace, which we all share. Namaste.